done when you were at AOL and the Latino study. I also saw some of the work you did at Terra, and I know that's very important to you and something that you've pushed at the other organizations you've been a part of. As you mentioned and you opened up, you've been at Google for a relatively short time, but in spite of that, you're sitting on the largest database known to man in all of history. So my question is really, what research would you like to see from Google and or maybe the industry in general, and maybe some of the tools you already pointed out how powerful Google Insights can be?
No, I think there's a lot of research. I mean, we just published research at the end of January to look at this market from a top-down level. What I've seen a lot is really developing case studies now with clients. Most, I would say, Fortune 500 companies have Hispanic strategies already in place. So really the challenge for us is really taking that database, Paul, you're talking about, and really make it useful for the marketing strategies that each of those companies is going after. And that for me is extremely important. I mean, as a company, we're all about measurable results. So we want to make sure that we not only have top level research that shows the opportunity, the market opportunity, but we have and we work actively with clients to make sure that that opportunity comes to fruition in their marketing strategies that produces ROI. So that's really the focus that we're currently undertaking.
So I also want to put a plug in for the rest of this sessions going on today. We have one on SEO and search. We have another on social and how Latinos are using social media, and a third one on analytics that I'll actually be on the panel for. And again, there's just not a lot of opportunities for those types of conferences. So for those of you who are attending, make sure you get the slide presentations. I think there's going to be just a flood of fantastic information if Mark's presentation is any indication. Google wouldn't have brought on an industry veteran like yourself if they didn't intend to listen to you. The impact that you had at Terra and AOL was very strong. What are you thinking? What are you recommending to senior management? Where are you taking Google and consequently Latinos in the United States?
Well, I think when you look at the industry, I mean, we talked a little bit about media planning and how right now the media mix is shifted or is heavily on the offline side. I think there's an opportunity there, but also there's an opportunity to really drive our media industry forward, and we as Google see ourselves as like a huge platform for that to happen. And when I look at the industry, I'm thinking about content providers. I mean, it's very important for us to develop relationships with content providers in YouTube and make sure that we have that and we span that relationship that we have with them. It's important that we keep improving our product. So you as Latinos can access that product, whether in mobile devices, tablets, whether in PCs, and that we also are expanding our network of publishers through our Google Display Network. I mean, it's very important for us to be able to help them monetize their sites so we can produce more great quality content for this market. It's really, really important that as we shift our focus from offline to online, there's content there that users can go after and consume. And for us as a platform, it's very, very important that we fuel the video piece, the publishing piece, and our search capabilities to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I saw yesterday in another presentation, something I learned was that relevance is important, but that Google's using a lot more relationships in their calculations for relevance. Which kind of begs the question about social media. I'm not going to ask about that yet. But earlier this morning for breakfast, we were talking about your role and what you're doing and how you're organized at Google, and I was really fascinated by hearing about how they're organized there. I think it'd be interesting for the audience to understand your geographic coverage and how you report into the Google organization as it relates to Latin America in particular.
So as I mentioned before, we have two businesses. So the U.S. Hispanic business, which is headquartered in New York, Carlos, and we have a Miami-based pan-regional business. Here in the U.S., we work with our general market counterparts, so we can have that expertise on a vertical basis for a particular industry, and we can have our U.S. Hispanic expertise as well. So we don't like working in a vacuum. We want to make sure that we integrate and take advantage of the capabilities that the company has to offer to go to market.